I see a possum. We have quite a few in the area. This is the first time we've seen one out in the daytime. It looks like a juvenile. He's scared of me. Oh. He's hiding in the bushes, and if he doesn't see me, I guess he thinks I can't see him. He spotted me. What a mess. Look at all those leaves in there in lieu of mulch. But the birds love it. They are constantly in here getting bugs out. They're going to be using it to feed themselves and then eventually to feed their babies. But I am going to cover it up with mulch. But what a mess. I have one more chore to do before I start cleaning up the flower beds. It's time to go to the garden center. The first items in my cart are some kale plants and a couple of seed packets. I like going directly to the growers, so I am in the greenhouses. I'm going to pick up some veggies. Here are some tomato plants. I'm liking these taller peppers. Those are yellow ones, but let me show you what I have in the cart so far. I got some Italian roasting peppers. I picked up 2 yellow pear tomatoes, 1 patio tomato, and 1 red cherry tomato. And then the seed packets are actually zinnias. And there's the kale again. This is the bottom of my cart. I decided to go with vincas. I just love them. I got 1 flat of the fuchsia color and 1 white. It's always just so pretty to walk around in the greenhouses. There's just so many pretty flowers, lots of hanging baskets. Oh, here are some portulachas, one of my favorites. They're also sometimes referred to as moss roses. I did get a couple packets of those. They put together beautiful hanging baskets with lots of colors and lots of different kinds of flowers. Look at the beautiful colors on these Gerber daisies. They had lots of New Guinea impatiens hanging there above the Gerber daisies. My friend and I try to get all of our veggies and flowers in under 45 minutes if we can, but today it took about an hour. It was crazy mobbed in there. It was hard for me to even take the pictures. This will probably be the easiest flower bed to clean up. Just throw a little bag of mulch on that. I got my perennials in there. And then I just want to put something in here. Now I have my work cut out for me. I'm drinking my coffee this morning and I'm looking at this part of my neglected flower bed on the side of my house. This has been an ongoing project. What a mess. I'm seeing weeds so tall. At least my hydrangea came back. There's a few other plants in here that I really like. My echinacea. I'm not sure if any of these mums are gonna come back or not. They look pretty dead. We'll see. I can't even remember what this is. I gotta look back at my pictures. I gotta trim back this one. I'm not sure if the lily of the valley is choking out my Dusty Miller here. That was a transplant. That was a risk I took, transplanting it from the back to my side bed. Wasn't sure if it was going to survive the winter. It might not have, but I won't know until I can get down there and look to see if there's any green shoots. Again, more weeds. This is a flower that a lot of people love, but it's very invasive, and I have been yanking it out, and I see there's more of them back there. I have a lot of weeding and mulching to do. Another mum there. Now this one looks much better, this Dusty Miller. And then I have a lot of these irises. These are the yellow ones, and there's some purple ones back there. There's another mum. And lots of clover weeds and other weeds. And then there's my other hydrangea. And I thought, so there was a forsythia that was here, and it was not doing well, and I had dug it up, but apparently it shot out a root this way, and there it is. So it's still surviving. What I might do is move that somewhere, but I'm going to think about it for a minute, so it can live there for a bit. Grab my compost bin, my gloves, and my digging tool. I don't even know what this is called, but I love it because it makes it easy to loosen up the dirt. And I'm going to pull out these weeds. I'm going to start with this one first. Last year, a rogue tomato plant was in this area, and I'm now seeing, do you guys recognize the leaf on that? That is a baby tomato plant, but I'm not going to let that grow here again, although the plant did really well in this area. But it grew up and over my neighbor's fence, and I just don't want that to happen again, so I'm not going to let that tomato plant stay there. However, if any of them come back in this flower bed back in that area, I am going to let them grow. I almost got a little too overzealous pulling out the weeds, and this is actually like a daisy plant. I had put a few plants in here besides my hydrangea. This is a lavender, and boy, you can tell when you're working around it, it's all you can smell. It's not just the flowers that smell, the leaves smell just as good. This area is looking so much better. I can see my echinacea, the daisy back there, the lily of the valley. I just pull it out where I don't want it. It's so like hardy, it doesn't matter. And now I move down to this mess right here. I'm going to be pulling out all of those invasive flowers I don't want, all the clover and any other weeds, but not pulling out my actual plants that I want to keep. As a gardener, I got lots of challenges here in Michigan. Look at this sandy soil. That's almost 100% sand with rocks in it. But you know what grows well in just about anything? Weeds. The weeds, they don't care. If it's dirt, sand, clay, they'll still grow. Oh, there's some more weeds. I got to get those out of there. I want to come back and trim all of the dead stuff too. I'm just trying to pull out the weeds for now and figure out where I'm at. Of course, all of this is going to get mulched, and then the mulch will break down and eventually make soil, and that'll mix with the sand, and that'll be more helpful. This is also another perennial spring flower. It bloomed really early, and now it's done. What I think I'm going to do is probably just cut it down to the ground and then fill this in with mulch, because it just comes back every year. It's a perennial, kind of like the lily of the valley. Over here where all my irises are, it's a lot less weeds, which is pretty nice. Kind of liking that. This was a bit overcrowded. This was planted by a previous owner, and they multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. They are the yellow ones. I did dig some out and move them around a little bit. Some of them don't bloom because they're buried too deep in the ground. They also don't get a lot of sun. They get some sun here, but if your irises aren't blooming, Make sure to dig them up so that the tubers can sun themselves a little bit. So I started way down there for the hardest part of weeding, which actually is not that much weeding. Pretty small flower beds. And I left the easiest part, which is right here, for last. And there might be a few in the front here. Thanks for watching.